Okay. I filled my coffee up way too much. Hey guys, welcome back to Embers and Ash. My name's Ashley if you didn't know, and today we're doing a Q&A. It is 7:30 in the morning right now. I'm trying to get this video done before the Renault start downstairs because it's been very noisy. So it's an early video. I got my coffee with me. I got my questions on my phone. I wanted to wait to do a Q&A until the house tour came out in case you had any questions about the house, and you sure did. But also we're gonna talk about things that aren't house related as well. Okay, first question about the move. How is Rook adjusting to the new house? He's doing okay. The first 2 mornings he was waking at 5:30, which was horrible. And then now he's waking at 6:30, which isn't fantastic, but it's better. His naps have been either amazing or not great. So either he'll fall asleep super easily and sleep for 2 hours or won't go down. So it's up in the air still. We're still in our first week though. Do you want more kids? And if so, what's your timeline? So I've talked about more kids before. I do want more kids. Before having kids, I wanted 4 children. Do I still want 4 children? I don't know. As for trying for another one, that's something we're not addressing right now. I don't know, we're so busy with the move and the Renault. We don't really want to throw a pregnancy in the mix. When will y'all be painting the walls? Whenever we get the chance. The Renault downstairs is taking all of our time. I'm very busy with putting out 3 videos a week and taking care of Rook. So I can't just do it right now. Yeah, I have no idea when we're gonna have the free time for it. Maybe in a couple weeks, maybe in 2 months. I don't know. It's hilarious that I moved into a house with the same green walls that I was trying to get away from, but at least now I can change them. And just for the record, I don't hate this green. If I were to paint my walls a color, it probably would be this green. I just have always wanted white walls like a lot of people and haven't been able to have fully white walls, so that's what we're going with. It's also a really good neutral color for, well, not color, but it's really good for resale, having white walls, so that's what we're doing. Are you going to change the closet doors? I love how specific that is. Yeah, the doors in this house aren't good. I think they're straight from the 70s and they've been painted white since. Yeah, we're gonna be switching out the closet doors and the doors and a lot of other things, but that won't be for a while. Can you further elaborate on your shared living situation and what that is going to look like? A lot of questions on this topic. I've touched on it before, but I will run through it again and maybe give some more details. So Josh and I bought this house with another couple, Dan and Maggie. We are 50-50 owners, so it's not like they're renting from us or we're renting from them. We all own this house. We're splitting the living. Josh and I are living upstairs. They're living downstairs. It is a basement, but it's only partially underground, so once the reno is done, new windows are in, it's gonna be really nice and not like a dingy basement. This is an investment property. If you guys aren't from the Lower Mainland, you don't know how expensive real estate is, and this was the only way that we could get a detached home. You know, just being regular people working regular jobs. So yeah, it's like a 5-year plan probably. Renovate the downstairs, renovate the upstairs, sell it, and at that point, if we have enough equity, I guess, to part ways, then we part ways and we buy our own individual houses and we're laughing. That's the plan. I'm sure there'll be more questions on that coming up though. When you have your second, will they share a room with Rook? Yeah, so if we're gonna be here 5 years, we're most likely gonna have another child as long as my body allows it. And they definitely will be sharing a room with Rook. This is a 2-bedroom home upstairs. So like, you know, we could have multiple kids here, but just not long term. Eventually, it's gonna be too tight, but definitely not a problem for a 5-year plan. What are you most excited to renovate? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I currently am not doing any of the work, but I'm very excited about it. Well, right now I'm just so excited to see the basement done because it's gonna be such a drastic before and after. As for upstairs, I think I'm most excited about renovating the kitchen. Not that I hate the kitchen, I'm just excited for the wall to be taken down so that this room is open concept and that we have some more storage. Very practical. Will you grow vegetables in your garden? Probably not this year. Again, we're just very busy. I have a couple tomato plants from the old place that I brought over, and that's about it for this year. Next year, I'm definitely gonna get a good garden going. I'm gonna do a lot of landscaping outside as well and share that with you guys, but there's just too much to do inside. I'm not gonna bother with outside right now. If you stumbled upon bonus Renault money, what change would you splurge on? That is such a fun idea. Probably the kitchen, mostly because I think you get the best return on investment when you invest in a kitchen for real estate. But also there's so many fun things you can do when you have a big budget for the kitchen, like getting real stone backsplash, proper hardwood cabinets, that kind of thing. What tips do you have for baby proofing a house? Everyone is gonna do it differently based on how you live your life. At least that's what I feel, because I was asking people the same question. Some people like to leave dangers out in the open and then help teach your child learn that that's a danger. I can't do that because I can't always be watching Rook, like hovering over him, because I have work to get done. So it's nice to set my home up in a way that's safe for him so he can roam around, play with toys. I'm in the same room as him, but I don't have my eyes on him the whole time, you know? When we moved in here a couple days ago, I walked around and followed Rook as he found all the dangers in the house, and then I would adjust accordingly. So that was really nice to just kind of get them all out of the way. Do you guys share the same entrance with the other couple? You'll see in the Renault series, if you're watching that, that we are putting an exterior door for them downstairs. Right now, our front door is the door to get in and out of the basement, but once everything's done, they'll have their own entrance. Any plans on going back to work? Ooh, this is a good one. I've left this up in the air just because I haven't known. I didn't know if YouTube would be a big enough income to be able to not go back to work. There's a stigma that YouTubers make so much money, and that's just not realistic. Like, Josh and I are just trying to pay our bills and go out for dinner every once in a while, like nothing crazy. But yeah, I am officially going to announce that I am not going back to work. I've been fairly certain of this for months now, but it's been scary to kind of finalize that decision. Even if I were to go back to work right now, I don't know what I would do with Rook. Like, I don't have daycare set up or anything, but yeah, I'm so incredibly excited about it. YouTube income has been steady, not crazy, but steady, that I think we can make it work. And I don't have to go back to work. And I'm just so incredibly, what's the word I want to say? I feel very privileged to be able to do this. I know a lot of moms would give anything to stay home with their kids. And yeah, I just feel really lucky and appreciative of that, because it's gonna be so special being able to be with my kids every day. Yeah. So thank you everyone who's helped support me in commenting, sharing, joining my Patreon. No pressure, but if you want to join and help support me, that would be amazing. There are fun perks if you're interested. Yeah, just thank you for everything you guys are doing to help me out. Are you still breastfeeding? If so, how long do you plan on doing so? I am still breastfeeding. I have no idea when I'm gonna stop. Right now our day feeds are kind of up in the air, so maybe I'll start weaning those ones. But Rook definitely likes his morning feed and his before bed feed. I don't know when we'll wean. My midwife was saying that it's recommended to breastfeed if you are breastfeeding until 2 years old because it's good for their immune system. And at that point, it's more of like a once a day before bed kind of thing. So maybe I'll do that. Rook still is interested in it. Maybe I'll just follow whatever he wants. Don't know. How does the house sharing work in terms of investment and if you decide to sell? So we got a lawyer to write up a contract just so that all of our exit plans are out of the way. There's no surprises, everything's planned for. Lots of people in our lives were suggesting doing that because you never know what's gonna happen, and we agreed. So as for selling the house, we have, I think, every avenue planned out. Like if one couple wants to sell and the other one doesn't, how long we wanna stay in this house, splitting costs, all that is written out so that there's no surprises, like I said. What's the hardest part about being a minimalist mom? I think people giving you stuff, which is a good problem to have, but it's hard when you're trying to limit the things in your house. I haven't had too much trouble with this though, because people know that I like to keep things minimal. And usually if someone wants to get something for Rook, they'll ask ahead of time, or they just know us and know Rook and what we need. Yeah, definitely gifts is the hardest part. What's been your favorite stage of motherhood so far? I don't know, is it cheesy to say every stage? Rook and Josh are out of the room now and they're here playing. Yeah. I've loved every stage because every stage has its hard parts, but every stage has its really exciting parts, like when he smiled for the first time, crawled for the first time. Now he's so interactive, he's so fun to play with. Yeah, I've just been loving it all. Have you had a problem where you've gotten rid of things then regretted it? Yes. I think only once that I really remember. We had 2 potato peelers, so I got rid of one of them, and turns out that one was very sentimental to Josh, and he's still upset that I got rid of it, and I'm upset that I got rid of it, but it happens. Do you think becoming a mother has changed your identity? I think so. Like, I wasn't a mom, now I am a mom, but I'm still the same person. Is the backyard a shared space between you and the other couple? Yeah, so like, we have our little patio up here, but I'm not gonna say like, they can never come on our patio. It's definitely gonna be a space they can freely come and hang out on. And then they're gonna make a little patio on their level. The backyard's gonna be shared. Again, we're friends with these people, so like, we need our own space. We have our own houses or areas in the house, but outside is gonna be definitely like shared. What made you want to co-buy a house versus moving to a more affordable town? This has been a struggle for years. Josh wants to move away. Well, like we both want to move away, but it's so hard. Like all of our family's here. You can't just up and leave. Like it's fun to think about, but practically it didn't make sense, especially with a kid. Like we didn't want to take the first grandchild away from all the grandparents, you know? Are you planning Rook's birthday yet? And what are you planning if you are? Oh my gosh, his birthday is like a month away and I haven't started planning it yet. I really need to. They just loosened regulations a couple weeks ago for gatherings, so we actually can have a party. So I need to get planning that ASAP. As for the theme, am I gonna get hate for this? I'm not sure. But the theme is going to be beer, because the first birthday is for the family anyways, not for the child. So we thought, let's do a beer theme. Josh brews beer so we can serve his beer to guests. Obviously the day is still gonna be about Rook, but the guests are gonna have a good time. I don't know, we just thought it'd be fun. We're trying to think of good like beer puns. Like if Rook was turning 2, we could do let's brew Rook is 2. But I'm having a hard time thinking of phrases like that for turning 1. Let me know if you have any. Okay, that was it for Instagram. Now let's go over to the YouTube community page, or community tab. What's it called? If you bought the house together, but only their half is getting renovated, who pays for the renovations? Are you splitting the utilities, or can you get billed separately? So, good question. We are splitting the renovations equally because this is equally our home and equally our investment. We are also gonna be renovating upstairs. We're just doing the downstairs first because it's not livable. But all the renovation costs are getting split, and then when we sell the house, we can split the profit equally. As for utilities, we're just splitting them. We only have one, what's that thing called? Like the thing that tells us how much heat we're using. We only have 1 meter in the house, so we're just gonna split it. Okay. Okay, I got Rook for a second. Advice for first-time moms worried about not being a good mother. Something I heard online was like, if you're worried about not being a good mom, you're already a good mom because bad moms don't worry about not being a good mom. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're caring for your kid, you're doing great. Even if you're struggling, you're doing great. You're trying. I vaguely remember you saying that you weren't looking forward to leaving your current house. Is that the case? Are you happy with everything in the new house? Did you have to sacrifice anything? I'm actually really at peace with leaving the old house. I processed it and I wasn't upset at all leaving. We really gained so much here. Even if there's little things that I don't like, being a homeowner versus a renter is just amazing on its own. And really, like, the biggest thing is we sacrificed moving from 2 acres to, I don't know, this is a standard property size.
6,000 square feet.
6,000 square feet. But that's just real life. It's not realistic to be on 2 acres. Do you and your husband share the parenting roles even though you're still the main one caring for him while on maternity leave? Yeah, absolutely. When Josh is home, he takes on full dad mode and helps out obviously a lot. And I wouldn't even say it's like helping out because like it's your child, you know? But my job is caring for Brooke while Josh is at home, so I don't really feel like there's an imbalance. Okay, this is a good one. Why buy a house if you don't love it? Especially if you don't get more square footage. Why not just stay in the apartment until you find something you love? This is hilarious. No hate against your question. It's a very valid question, but I feel like you don't live here in this area. You kind of take what you can get. If we hated the house, we wouldn't have gotten it. When we did the walkthrough, we thought for sure there's good bones here, something we can work with, something we can renovate. Why not stay in the apartment? Because then we're not getting into the housing market, and that's worse for us. Because once you get in the market, it's easier to stay in. It's so hard to get into the market right now. Yeah, and just like a lot of real estate agents will tell you that right now you're probably not gonna get your dream home because, you know, you're going against like 20 other offers on a house. The likelihood of you getting the house is very slim. That's why we compromised. And again, we're not staying here forever, so it doesn't matter that we didn't love it when we did our walkthrough. What's your favorite thing you've ever thrifted or found secondhand? Definitely right now, it's the little lamp that I got at the antique store. I showed you guys that a couple videos ago. I'll put a picture up of it. It's just, it creates the mood I'm looking for. I wanna have really like soft lighting in the house for the evening, just very cozy vibe, and that was a good addition to help get me there. Does buying a house affect your timeline for baby number 2? No, like we can have a second baby in this house just fine. But again, it's not really on our minds right now. What do you think will be the biggest challenge for Rook's adaptation to the new house? So far, it's figuring out what's dangerous. It's not a big challenge. Okay, sorry. The big challenges aren't for him, they're for me. It's me figuring out what's dangerous and making this place safe for him. The first couple days, I couldn't get anything done because I had to be with him at all times because we didn't have a baby gate right here and the kitchen cabinets didn't have the like baby proofing. So now that those are in place, I can breathe easy knowing he's not gonna like really hurt himself. Favorite places to get home decor? Will you stick to the same decor style in the new house? Favorite places right now, thrift store. I want to do some more thrifting. As for just core style, I've been slowly changing my style over time. I don't want to say like I'm a hard and fast anything, because it's one thing to say you have a style and another to actually execute it, and like I'm not an interior designer. I love Japandi. If you haven't heard of it, it's the combination of Scandinavian and Japanese style. That's what I'm going for. I really like the hygge-ness of Scandinavian and the zen feeling of Japanese style. That's what I'm going for. Okay, last question, because we need to get Rook some breakfast and myself. The question is, why did you go in on a house together instead of just buying a townhouse? Also a very valid question. A couple things. We've thought about buying a townhouse for years, but for one, the price difference between townhouses and detached homes isn't that much. Like, definitely we couldn't afford a detached home on our own, but even a townhouse isn't that much cheaper. The big kicker was strata fees. I think there's a different name for strata in the States, but it's like your monthly fee for all the maintenance and whatever of the complex. I don't know all the details. I know that in the past year there were rules that changed, and strata fees can go up at any time, any amount, with like no control over it. Thank you for that. So I know people who own townhomes and all of a sudden they're paying an extra $100 a month in strata fees, and that's just scary. That was the biggest thing holding us off. We have been waiting to see if we could make a detached home work before we wanted to resort to buying a townhouse. Also, we're probably gonna get a better return on investment renovating a detached home versus a townhouse. You know, we're adding a suite downstairs, and that adds so much value to a home. Yeah, so that's why we're doing it this way. Also, it's just really nice being in a detached home versus a townhouse. So that's that. Okay, those are all the questions. I hope I answered yours. I might have skipped a couple because Rook's getting hungry. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions that you desperately need answered, just comment them and I'll reply to them down there. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.